Let me talk about this thing first. Does anyone recognize this picture?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah. Do you know, or where have you seen it before? Where?
On movies.
Movies. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Da Vinci, well, it was based off a drawing that Da Vinci did. It's called, I think, The Vitruvian Man. And it's kind of talking about the perfect ratio for a person. So there's this idea called the golden ratio, and people in mathematics are kind of obsessed with it because it keeps popping up in all these different places. And one idea that Da Vinci or someone else had was that this is what the perfect person looks like. And if you think about it, or not if you think about it, but if you have a deeper look at it, our brains are actually geared towards this golden ratio. It's almost kind of spooky. I'll give you one example.
Is it symmetrical?
This guy here. Yeah, it's not necessarily related to like him being symmetrical, but the ratio of, for example, his head and his eyes and his kind of legs and arms and how they're in proportion to each other. That's this idea behind the golden ratio in terms of the human body. Trying to go next photo. That's not going next. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Cool. Anyone take photos here?
Yeah, I can't see that.
You can't see that? You want to turn the lights on?
We did that in photography.
Oh, did you actually? Do you remember what it's about?
Yeah, it's not like getting like the sunset.
Yeah, right. So there's this. This is also sort of based on the golden ratio. There's this idea that photos, when you take them, they're a lot more interesting. Tom, you were talking about symmetry, right?
Yeah.
And in photography, it's actually the complete opposite. Generally, if you look at this first photo, the sun is kind of centered in the middle, and it looks sort of plain. But the rule of thirds tells us that when we position the objects of interest within the intersections of these grids, they look a bit more interesting, right? So you can see these 4 points, and you can see the sun now is placed in this corner. And it might not be so clear here, but if I go to another picture, okay, you see this leopard, right? If it was squarely in the center, it would look kind of boring, but they've placed it so it's within the intersection of these lines here. I've got a couple more examples. This lighthouse, see how they're not squarely in the center. This tree, bottle.
I didn't know we were in photography.
Well, mathematics is everywhere. You can't escape.
I didn't even know what those lines were for.
Yeah, well, that's it's trying to guide you in terms of where to place what you're interested in your photo. So in the future, when you're taking photos, you can try and play around with the angles and see what looks better and what doesn't. And just like all good rules, this rule of thirds, it's also meant to be broken as well, right? So it's not always going to be the case that you want to place them within these intersections, but a lot of the time it can make your picture look a lot better. So yeah, we're really obsessed with the idea of ratios. That's kind of why we study them. But how do we actually solve the problems? Let's have a look at that. Can you hit the light screen again?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone got this sheet here? Yep, cool. What would you say ratio is?
Fraction.
Yeah, okay. We can express ratios in a fraction.
So something.
So like comparison?
Yeah, good. Parts, comparison, good. Let's put those two together. I'm going to say a ratio is how much of one thing you have compared to another. Okay, so we've put those two definitions together. We've got some kind of parts, and we're going to be comparing them, okay? And if you look at this question, it tells me that the human body is made up of 3 things: bone, muscle, fat, and organs. And what's their ratio? Well, the ratio is in 3 to 7 to 10 respectively, okay? And then it asks me in the part A, Andrea has a mass of 65 kilos. What is the mass of her bones, okay? You can kind of approach this in 2 ways. The first one is just think about it logically, right? If I have the parts 3 to 7 to 10, well, the first thing I want to do is I want to find the total number of parts, right? Because if these are the individual things that make up her body, I can find the total number of parts by doing what?
I hate ratios. I never really understood them.
Sorry? But do you understand that we're comparing three things here, right? Because a ratio is just comparing things together, and we're comparing some parts. So we're comparing something that has 3 parts to something that has 7 parts to something that has 10
So
parts.
20.
Right, so exactly, Tom. How did you get 20?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Right, so if these are the parts that make up her body, then the
So-
total number of parts would just be all of these summed together, right? So we've got
Hey, your hair's
20
brown.
parts. Let's recap. Okay, so why do we have 3 parts? Because there's just 3 different things. It doesn't matter that there's 3, right? But still, a ratio is still just comparing things to another. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many parts there are.
When you put that into a fraction.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Don't think about that. That's going to confuse you. Okay. Just think about we've got these individual parts, and we want to find the total number of parts. We just add them together. But if we want to find the amount of bone, what's the mass of our bones, right?
3 over 20 times 100.
Okay, cool.
Let's find what's one.
Yeah, let's go back to one part because I think that's a lot easier to think about, right? For some people, if we go back to one part, right? If I know that she's 65 kilograms, I can easily find the mass of one part by just dividing my 20, right? Can you put that in your calculator for me? 3.25. 3.25 what? 3.25 kilograms. Okay. From there, then it's really easy, right? It's really easy, Tom. You can just simply find how many parts you need. I need 3 parts.
By the amount.
Yeah.
Of them all added
Yes,
together.
he must have got a lot of mass because his phone number's on this one.
But yeah, 9.75.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, write that down for me, guys. That's all pretty straightforward. The other way you could have done is what Tom did, right? You can skip directly. If you realize that you're interested in 3 out of 20 parts, right? You can skip directly and just say, okay, 3 over 20 multiplied by 65. I'm happy for you to do that. Okay, whatever works best for you. And this whole exercise is going to be like that. There's going to be a lot of ways you can take shortcuts, but if you prefer, I'm happy for you to break it down so that you actually understand what you're doing. Okay, that's fair. This is 8.04, I think. Yeah. Okay, cool. B. Can you guys have a go at B for me now? Oh, sorry. I should move it. I need to find a good place for it, actually. So same idea. 3 to 7 to 10. What's different about this question now, though? Okay, so they're not telling us the mass of the person's whole body. They're telling me the mass of their fat and organs, which is this part. Okay? So I want to approach this slightly differently. What do I want to do?
10 parts equals 42 kilograms.
Yeah, right. So I want to take my 42 kg. I still want to find one part, right? I still want to find one part.
So then,
Okay? Because this idea of coming back to one part means I can find all the other parts really easily. So Tamika, right? If you think about it, you've got 10 parts that weigh 42 kilograms, right? So Tamika, how would I find one part then? If I know 10 parts is 42 kilograms,
you just
how do
divide
I?
that.
That's it, yeah. I can just take my 42 kilograms and divide that by 10.
I'm sure I got that. Jesus.
And then from there,
One, or let's say four. One part equals. Okay.
one part, yeah. And then what's the question, Joe? Oh, do you have a sheet? Read out these.
Repeat body mass has 42 kilograms of fat and 22 muscle mass.
Okay, so we found what one part is. And then we want to find out how many parts is muscle mass. Well, that's just the middle one here. That's the one we're interested in.
So that means you go 7 times 4.
You got it. Right, 7 parts. 7 parts would just equal to 4.2 kilograms multiplied by 7.
29.4 kilograms.
29.4? Easy.
Oh, I understand that.
You got it.
For now.
No, you got it. It'll be fine.